2023 will be a year for turning points in inflation, interest rates, and growth. However, given uncertainties in the markets, entrepreneurs and investors may want to consider putting additional focus on their financial resilience. Why revisit your cash management strategies? And what is the best thing to focus on? A conversation well worth your 10 minutes, right here on UBS Trending. Hi everyone, and welcome to UBS Trending. I'm your guest host, Bianca, filling in for Anthony. And today we have Mike Urey with us, Senior Wealth Management Banker at UBS. So let's get right down into what's most important with financial resilience. Mike, to shed some light on what my team and UBS FAs are seeing in our work with founders, I spoke with an owner last week about cash management strategies. And given economic stress and uncertainty, he really wanted to make sure that on the business side, he had the cash for potential unexpected expenses. I'd love to have your thoughts on this.
Happy to speak on this, Bianca. Some business owners are more on the preparing for potential liquidity needs, like they may be exiting or they might need some dry powder on the sidelines, whereas there's certainly plenty of business owners that are focused on finding and attracting new talent, investing in their business, basically trying to protect themselves from the things that happened during the pandemic. They're trying to insulate them. So, they're on different sides of the spectrum. But part of maintaining the flexibility to deploy the cash management is actually having a flexible vehicle that works beyond just the working capital part of it. So we work with our clients to develop a customized plan that incorporates their cash flow needs and their liquidity needs. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel like I have to ask, what goes into creating that customized plan? How do you go about creating that for the clients that you're working with today?
Well, it's important to balance the potential need for the liquidity for that unplanned expense or even an unforeseen opportunity with the ability to be able to still earn interest, right? So maybe if I give you an example, it'll help illustrate my point better. We have a client and she's anticipating that she might need somewhere around $10 million to buy this piece of commercial real estate that she's had her eyes on for a while. And she thinks it's going to become available. Now, if it does, she's probably going to need to act on it fairly quickly. She might need to pay cash, do a quick close, etc. So we put her in a high yield savings account that would offer her principal protection, right? So it's safe. It's available whenever she needs it. So it's clearly liquid, but it's also earning her a pretty good rate of return. And that seemed to work for her.
All right. Well, I definitely know that for the entrepreneurs that we work with, they're busy growing their companies, managing employees, and in some cases, preparing their business for a potential sale. So coming from a family of entrepreneurs myself, I know it's really not easy to find the time to consider options for your personal financial resilience. Why do you suggest that owners focus on financial resilience now during times of uncertainty?
So, and that's an important concept, right? As a banker, we want to look at both sides of a client's personal balance sheet, right? Clients want to be kept informed about opportunities, particularly during these periods of uncertainty, right? So this includes like borrowing strategically, maximizing tax efficiencies, and also having cash on hand for any potential investment opportunities.
All right. Well, absolutely. All important things to consider. And I think you probably know what I'm going to ask next. In terms of business owners looking for ideas on how to get started, what are some of the liquidity strategies that they should be considering?
I think that also depends on the client. It's going to be personal to each of them, right? But maybe like some examples is like we have one business owner client who is maximizing their retirement plan contribution to minimize income taxes. Whereas, on the investment side, we have clients deploying cash management strategies, to maximize yield. It wasn't 2 years ago where you couldn't get basically 0 or maybe a 0.5% on deposits, and now you can get north of 4, close to 5% on some of these things. So it's important that we think about not only the client's time horizon and risk tolerance, but also match that with their expected yield or return on their cash.
I'm glad that you brought up that point again. Looking into a higher yield savings option is an important strategy to consider, particularly during times of market volatility. So Mike, thanks again for joining us and really helping us to break down some important liquidity insights and suggestions. To obtain a copy of the CIO piece we discussed and review specific liquidity needs that will work for you and your business, connect with your UBS financial advisor. Thank you again, Mike. I really appreciate you being on. And for more information, visit www.ubs.com/views. Make sure to follow UBS on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and check out our past trending episodes on demand. And as always, if you have any questions about your portfolio, please speak with a financial advisor. Until next time, I'm Bianca Benedetti Fang. Have a great rest of the day and remember to keep your eyes on what's trending.